Music mogul Sean "Jay-Z" Carter is accused of raping a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs.
Your whole speech was about how great Beyonce is. That's when I knew she was picked.
Diddy recently had a breakdown in court where laid allegations against Jay-Z, accusing him of using underage girls. As details emerged, Diddy's testimony painted a picture of betrayal and manipulation in the music industry. Why has he chosen to expose Jay-Z now? Is this all part of the game? Stay tuned as we unravel explosive details of this case. Diddy exposes Jay-Z. Jay-Z is facing accusations of exploiting a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs in 2000. These allegations, initially presented in a lawsuit in October, have re-emerged in a newly filed case that now names Jay-Z as a defendant. The plaintiff, referred to in legal papers as Jane Doe, claims that the event occurred at an after-party after the MTV Video Music Awards. The allegations have introduced a new element of intrigue, igniting fervent speculation and discussion within the industry. According to the lawsuit, the accuser claims she was taken to the afterparty under the guise of attending an exclusive event. Once there, she was allegedly offered a drink that left her feeling disoriented and vulnerable. The suit further states that Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room where she had gone to rest and proceeded to exploit her. Jane Doe confirms that she has evidence to support her claims and is prepared to testify in court, which has added an intense gravity to the case. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, wasted no time in addressing the allegations. In a statement released on his entertainment company's Instagram, he clearly denied the claims, calling them heinous and untrue. He also took aim at the attorney representing the accuser, Tony Busby, accusing him of manipulating the case for financial and personal gain. Jay-Z's statement suggested that the lawsuit was an attempt at extortion, stating that he would not settle and was only concerned about the impact on his family. The legal drama takes on an even more complex dimension, with reports that Diddy, who is currently in custody, may be cooperating with prosecutors. After being denied bail for the third time last week, sources indicate that Diddy has been under pressure to provide information in exchange for potential leniency. Allegations now swirl that Diddy implicated Jay-Z in the offense, adding his name to the growing list of individuals linked to the case. Critics argue that this move is an attempt to shift focus and reduce his own fault, while others believe it is a step forward in holding powerful figures accountable. The refiled lawsuit submitted in the Southern District of New York has intensified scrutiny of both Jay-Z and Diddy, reigniting discussions about their past actions and associations. Observers have pointed out that the two have long been intertwined in both professional and personal capacities, making the allegations even more valid. Some view this as a deliberate unraveling of Diddy's network, with connections and past secrets coming to light in an effort to secure his own freedom. As the case unfolds, public opinion remains sharply divided. Advocates for survivors emphasize the importance of amplifying voices like Jane Doe's, highlighting the systemic issues that often allow powerful individuals to avoid accountability. On the other hand, supporters of Jay-Z argue that the timing and circumstance of the accusations raise questions about their validity. The specter of blackmail and legal opportunism are significant, as many question the motivations behind the lawsuit. In the midst of this escalating controversy, one thing is clear: this case will continue to dominate headlines, potentially reshaping perceptions of two of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry. Both the legal system and the court of public opinion are now in the spotlight, with the truth and its implications hanging dangerously in the balance. But there's one person who has always spoken up. Jaguar Wright speaks. The case unfolding around Jay-Z and Diddy has become an unsettling event, drawing attention to a series of allegations that many had dismissed for years. Jaguar Wright, an outspoken figure in the entertainment world, had been one of the first to speak out against these two powerful men, despite the backlash she faced. Back in October, she appeared on Piers Morgan's show, confidently accusing Jay-Z of being involved in disturbing activities, including exploiting minors alongside Diddy. Jaguar has never been one to shy away from speaking her mind. As the case begins to unfold, she has become increasingly vocal, pointing out the hypocrisy and manipulation behind the scenes. She expresses her frustration over the legal tactics employed by Jay-Z, which she believes are designed to break her spirit, control her actions, and keep her under his thumb. But Jaguar isn't intimidated. She boldly continues to stand her ground, refusing to be cowed by his influence. She also calls out the support Jay-Z has received from his wife, Beyonce, and their loyal following, accusing them of being manipulated into following a false narrative. To Jaguar, the millions of followers were never really fans. They were simply pawns in a larger game of media manipulation. Drawn in by the hype that Jay-Z and Beyonce have carefully crafted over the years, she has been outspoken against the toxic power structures of the music industry, and for years she's been warning people about the sinister forces at play. forces in form of figures like Diddy and Jay-Z. Jaguar draws a stark contrast between her own career and that of Beyonce. While the world sees the glamorous side of Beyonce's success, Jaguar asserts that the path to fame was far darker than most realize. She insists that unlike the reigning queen of pop, she has never been willing to harm others for her own gain. Despite the years of resistance, Jaguar is still standing firm. She's not afraid to call out the real dangers lurking behind the glitz and glam of the industry. Her charges extend well beyond mere banter. She discusses a deeper, more ominous reality, a world where individuals like Diddy and Jay-Z act without consequences, wielding their influence and riches to silence anyone who has the audacity to oppose them. In her opinion, the industry has for a long time been complicit, ignoring the wrongdoings of its most influential leaders. She highlights Jay-Z's silence after the allegations against Diddy as proof of the mysterious ties that link the two individuals. Jaguar has long claimed that Diddy and Jay-Z are part of a larger victim-making machine, one that continues to churn out suffering while the powerful escape unscathed. She draws comparisons to other infamous figures like Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, all of whom have been accused of terrible crimes while remaining shielded by the power structures they control. In her view, Jay-Z and Diddy are cut from the same cloth, men who use their influence to maintain a stranglehold on the industry, all while hiding their darker secrets from the public eye. Jaguar's words carry the weight of years of frustration and pain as she describes the constant struggles she's faced throughout her career to be heard, to be believed, and to stand up for the truth. But it's not just her own voice that she's advocating for. Jaguar is fiercely protective of the victims who have suffered at the hands of these men, many of whom have been too afraid to come forward until now, in fear of the possible harm that could come to them or their families. She claims to know of hundreds of victims, some of whom have already offered to testify against Jay-Z. These are people whose lives have been shattered by the very men who are supposed to be leaders in the entertainment world. Jaguar claims that she herself has been in contact with several of these individuals, and their stories are painful. She spoke of the dangerous and disturbing practices that these powerful figures have allegedly engaged just to keep people against their will, manipulating them and causing untold harm. One of the most disturbing elements of the allegations is the implication that Diddy and Jay-Z may have played a role in the tragic demise of Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-partner. Jaguar highlights Kim's unexpected passing and questions the situation around it, implying that Diddy might have been involved in her premature demise. She highlights that Kim's demise has stayed enigmatic, with numerous elements of her life and passing being disregarded or overlooked by officials. There is speculation surrounding Kim's untimely passing, with some suggesting that Diddy may have played a role in the circumstances. The mystery around Kim's demise continues as many aspects of her life and death have seemingly been overlooked or ignored by authorities. JayZ's reaction. Jaguar's voice, once dismissed as the ramblings of an outsider, is now being heard by a growing number of people who are starting to question the stories they've been told for years. And as the tide begins to turn, one thing becomes clear: the truth, no matter how uncomfortable or inconvenient, is starting to find its way to the surface. At the time, her claims were met with skepticism, and Jay-Z responded aggressively, sending her a cease and desist order in an attempt to silence her. But now, with a lawsuit being filed against Jay-Z and former victims stepping forward to testify, the story has taken a drastic turn. As the case continues to evolve, the stakes become higher. The silence that once wrapped these accusations is begging to crack, and the truth is slowly opening. The victims are no longer willing to stay silent, and the power dynamics that once protected figures like Jay-Z and Diddy may be starting to shift. Jay-Z has always been swift in defending himself against any allegations, fully aware that a single lawsuit could spark a threat of others. A similar situation unfolded with Diddy, who faced a storm of accusations after Cassie filed her lawsuit. Within no time, over 200 individuals came forward, each with compelling evidence of their claims. This pattern of multiple victims coming forward is one Jay-Z likely wants to avoid at all costs. The recent case involving Jaguar Wright has brought attention back to the allegations she made against Jay-Z, which are now being validated by mounting evidence. In the wake of these serious accusations, Piers Morgan found himself in a position where he had to publicly dismiss Jaguar Wright's claims. Although at that point, he expressed doubt about the accuracy of her words, insisting they were not proven. The unfolding evidence now paints a different picture. Jaguar's initial allegations, once dismissed, are proving to be more accurate than many anticipated. Morgan, in his defense of editing the interview, stated that the world today is one where anyone can share their opinions and attract an audience. As he put it, those making these accusations had the platform to speak whether or not they appeared on shows like his. Still, when Jaguar Wright made her explosive claims about Jay-Z and Beyonce during the interview, Morgan was quick to clarify that the couple wasn't present to defend themselves. Following legal pressure from JayZ's team, the accusations were removed from the broadcast, with Morgan stating that such edits weren't made lightly. The situation, according to Morgan, portraying the principle of not causing harm or panic in a crowded space where legal constraints were at play. Despite Morgan's efforts to distance himself from the allegations, the legal aspects of it were only just beginning to unfold. Sources, including criminal defense attorneys and Jaguar Wright herself, suggested that this could be the first of many lawsuits targeting JayZ. In connection with Diddy's case, multiple tapes have allegedly been handed over to the FBI, and reports suggest JayZ could soon find himself tied to similar incidents. The ongoing revelations have only intensified public scrutiny of JayZ, and the mounting evidence indicates that the accusations against him are not isolated. With more tapes surfacing and more victims coming forward, it seems the story is far from over. As the legal conflict unraveled, the full extent of what has been hidden could soon come to light, leaving many to wonder how far these accusations might reach. But it looks like the prosecutor, Tony Busby, has some tricks up his sleeves. Back to back. Tony Busby, who represents the plaintiff in this controversial case, has recently leveled serious accusations against JayZ, claiming that the music mogul has tried to intimidate and harass both him and his client. However, Busby's words suggest that these tactics have had the opposite effect, strengthening their determination to see the case through in court. He confidently states that the true facts of the case will come to light in the courtroom, not in media headlines or sensational media clips. This assertion came shortly after JayZ's aggressive legal response to the lawsuit, which has set off a burst of legal exchanges between the parties involved. Just hours before Busby made his comments, JayZ issued a brief yet forceful statement denying the accusations and firmly condemning the crime in question, saying that anyone responsible for such an offense against a minor should face harsh punishment. This strong stance only served to fuel the public's interest in the case, particularly regarding whether JayZ will testify in court to defend himself against these grave charges. The lawsuit paints a vivid picture of the alleged incident, describing a house, a driveway, and a woman who supposedly witnessed the events. Furthermore, it mentions a driver who allegedly transported the plaintiff to the scene, hinting at the possibility of additional witnesses who could either support or dispute the allegations. Initially, JayZ was not mentioned in the lawsuit, with only Diddy being named in the proceedings. However, JayZ's late inclusion in the case has sparked speculation about the credibility of the lawsuit. Some wonder whether this change undermines the validity of the allegations, but in legal matters, it's not unusual for new information to emerge, prompting the inclusion of additional individuals in a case. This suggests that both sides are still gathering evidence and building their respective arguments. As the lawsuit continues to play out, there is mounting speculation that more prominent names could become entangled in the web of accusations. With the complexity of the case expanding, it's possible that additional lawsuits will emerge, potentially implicating other celebrities in the process. This broadening of the legal conflict only adds to the public fascination with the case, keeping it firmly in the spotlight. In the midst of this mounting legal drama, Busby has extended an offer for mediation, signaling that his client is open to resolving the dispute through negotiation. While mediation is a common and often effective way to settle legal disputes, JayZ might view the offer differently. The idea of mediation could be perceived as an attempt to manipulate or coerce him into a settlement, particularly given the context of the accusations. It's important to note, though, that such an offer does not inherently suggest wrongdoing on Busby's part. Mediation is simply a tool that lawyers use to facilitate a resolution outside of court, and it does not necessarily imply any negative action. As both sides engage in this legal back and forth, the tension is noticeable, and the public is left guessing about how the situation will evolve. In the meantime, JayZ and his legal team are vigorously defending their position, particularly in relation to an accusation of blackmail. If this claim proves true, it could dramatically alter the course of the proceedings, but proving blackmail in a court of law is no simple task. Without solid evidence, convincing a judge or jury of such a serious allegation will be difficult. In addition to the involvement of JayZ, the case also introduces a new mysterious figure, a woman who is said to have been present during the alleged incident. Her identity remains unknown, and the potential significance of her role is a source of considerable intrigue. It remains unclear whether she could become a key witness or even face legal consequences herself. What comes next? Other alleged cases. Tony Busby has hinted at the possibility of implicating more high-profile figures in the scandal. He claims that he holds evidence capable of linking these celebrities to the case, with JayZ serving as the first person to fall. The shocking claim suggests that this case could reveal one of the largest criminal rings Hollywood has ever seen, involving over 250 verified victims. Busby, however, has made it clear that his team will not rush to make accusations. Instead, they are taking a methodical approach, ensuring that their proof is airtight before anyone's name is dragged into the public spotlight. Busby has emphasized that while the lawsuits will eventually name other individuals, they intend to follow a process of due diligence, not hastily airing their claims in media interviews. They are fully aware of the damage such serious accusations can cause and are committed to handling the situation responsibly. For them, it's a matter of ensuring that the legal system is respected, as public filings inevitably draw media attention. When a name is linked to a lawsuit, the press takes notice, and Busby is determined to make sure that everything is in order before proceeding with any public announcements. As he mentioned, while the first lawsuits may not name the most well-known figures, there is a long list of individuals involved, and some of those names, when revealed, are bound to raise eyebrows. In addition to the legal claims already laid out against JayZ, several disturbing accounts have emerged from individuals who claim to be victims of a larger network of exploitation. One particularly troubling story involves a minor who alleges that they were approached by Diddy, who promised them a path to fame but insisted on meeting in private. After they were lured into a secluded area, what followed was an alleged physical exploitation. Another story details an incident involving a woman who, after being picked up from the airport by Mr. Combs and several others in a black SUV, was allegedly given a drink. The next thing she recalls is waking up the following day with physical pain and injuries in both her private areas, her underwear and shoes missing, and no recollection of what transpired the night before. Shocked and disoriented, she went to the hospital for examination, where she confirmed the disturbing nature of what occurred. A third victim describes an unsettling encounter in Miami where they attended a group dinner with Mr. Combs. Despite being pregnant and abstaining from alcohol, the individual claims that someone secretly tampered with their drink, causing them to black out. When they regained consciousness, they found themselves in Combs' mansion, with injuries as bad as their vagina being torn, which suggested something sinister had occurred. Among the victims was a 15-year-old who recounts being flown to New York City for what was supposedly a party, only to find themselves knocked out and taken to a private room in the company of Mr. Combs, where they were physically taken advantage of. In this case, there were other individuals involved as well, each taking their turn on her. These accounts, among others, paint a grim picture of a wider web of crime that has yet to be fully uncovered. As more victims come forward, the case against JayZ and those allegedly connected to him is poised to expand. However, JayZ is not expected to fall easily. With the crowd, the resources and legal teams at his disposal, it's anticipated that he will mount a fierce defense against the new lawsuit. The road ahead promises to be filled with challenges, and as Busby gears up to file more lawsuits, revealing unsettling truths about the power structures that have long dominated the industry. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.